Welcome to Textile Update. I'm Gwendolyn Hustvedt. This video is one in a series of videos where I introduce a topic that will be covered in my textiles course. You may be one of my in-class students, one of my online students, or someone who just happened to find this video on the internet and wants a very quick introduction. Non-yarn fabrics are fabrics that are made without going through the yarn phase. So we're not knitting, we're not weaving, both of which require yarns. Instead, we'll be doing something different. Of course, there's the whole categories of fabric that are basically almost naturally occurring. So things like leather and fur and fabric made from bark are already in the 2D planar style that could be used for fabric. They may require finishing to make them soft enough or to make them stable enough to use, right? But those non-yarn fabrics are pretty much good to go from nature. We can also make fabrics directly from the fibers, and felt, such as the felt that I have here on my wall, is a great example of the way we can do that. And this is something that we as human beings would have noticed on the sheep, right? That the sheep, their fur, as it is released from their body by their hair, as its new hairs growing in, it begins to felt with the other hairs. It forms this fleece or sort of a mat that's pretty easy to clip off, and if it isn't clipped off, will just fall off naturally. So there were these big pieces of fleece laying around that would look like fabric. It didn't take long for human beings to figure out how to imitate this. And in many sheep growing regions around the world, there is a felting tradition. Of course, besides making felt from wool, we can also use needle punching to make felt from all sorts of other fibers, and that's something else that we'll discuss. Also, we need to talk about making fabrics directly from polymers. Once we developed thermoplastic fibers that could be extruded as fibers, we could also extrude them as films. And so, okay, we're talking about sheets of plastic here, but technically it is a fabric. We use it to wrap buildings in. It's really important in industrial uses. We find them underneath roads and football fields, and so we need to talk about that. Of course, besides films, we have things like foams. Foams are very important in bicycle helmets for safety reasons, or in flotation devices or other things. The trapping of the air inside the foam provides a number of different benefits: insulation, buoyancy, and also crushability, which is very helpful if your skull is slamming into the side of your helmet. So all of these are examples of fabrics that are non-yarn, made without using yarns, but are still really vital to the world in which we live in today. Super.